Republican lawmakers in Tennessee just showed us how little they actually care about democracy. On Thursday, Republican Tennessee lawmakers voted to expel two black Democratic state representatives, Justin Jones and Justin Pearson, after they had joined in previous peaceful protests calling for stronger gun safety laws. Now, there was also a third representative that was targeted for expulsion. However, she ended up holding on to her seat. That's Representative Gloria Johnson. So now there's a difference here. See, Jones and Pearson are black. Johnson, who again barely survived her vote, is white. Now, all of them, of course, they're on the right side here in arguing on behalf of their constituents for some stronger gun laws. So now, of course, those expulsion hearings were in response to them leading these protests, or at least leading protesters in chants without being recognized to speak. Oh, you have to be recognized to speak, do you? Well, you know, two black guys and a woman getting a little uppity. Well.
Can't let that happen.
No. So this is very clearly Tennessee Republicans saying, sit down and shut up. In the Republican-led resolution to expel the members, the protests were described as disorderly behavior that knowingly and intentionally brought disorder and dishonor to the House of Representatives. Later on, of course, certain Republican members also called this a quote-unquote insurrection. How dare you break our beloved decorum by having these uppity black men and a woman speak when they're not supposed to be speaking? That's what it is. Again, it's all about silencing opposition. In fact, Jones, during the speech, when this, I should say before this vote had passed, illustrated the hypocrisy of Tennessee Republicans when it comes to their votes to expel members for bad conduct. Take a look.
Let's talk about expulsion. For years, one of your colleagues who was an admitted child molester sat in this chamber. No expulsion. One member sits in this chamber who was found guilty of domestic violence. No expulsion. We had a member pee in another member's chair in this chamber. No expulsion. In fact, they're in leadership.
Wow. And that's just a snippet. A lot of that speech and the speeches that were given yesterday were just fantastic. But that's enough to really show you the hypocrisy. Oh, so you've got all these members that have gotten themselves into trouble, and not only that, but messed with other people and even peed in their chair. No expulsions on that, but how dare you, speak out against the gun lobby and in favor of young kids who are being murdered. We got to get rid of you. Oh, of course. Now, I looked into this a little bit more. So Tennessee politics, it's dirty. It's nasty. And I don't just mean the pee. Again, you had Republicans. And by the way, the pee incident, that didn't even involve Democrats. That was Republican infighting over some anonymous Twitter account that was apparently, again, this was fighting over the GOP chairmanship, and it got dirty and a little wet. Okay. Now you also have, by the Republican Representative David Byrd, who has been accused by multiple women of sexual abuse when he was their high school basketball coach. Wait, I thought Republicans didn't like groomers. What is that? What is that? I would say it's grooming. If it happened to be true. So now, again, with all of that and all the different investigations into Republicans for acting poorly, nobody got expelled. Not only that, but even after you have video of Republican Representative Justin Lafferty pushing Representative Jones on the House floor. Nothing happens. Nothing happened to him. But again, speak up for your constituents during a peaceful protest. Well, then you are done. You are done. No, it's not about bad behavior, okay? It's about what Republicans are actually afraid of in Tennessee. Here's an example.
Yes, I tell you, it was a sad day on Saturday. All hope seemed to be lost. Representatives were thrown out of the State House. Democracy seemed to be at its end. Seemed like the NRA and gun lobbyists might win. But oh, that was good news for us. I don't know how long this Saturday in the state of Tennessee might last. But oh, we have good news, folks. We've got good news that Sunday always comes. Resurrection is a promise, and it is a prophecy. It's a prophecy that came out of the cotton fields. It's a prophecy that came out of the lynching tree. It's a prophecy that still lives in each and every one of us in order to make the state of Tennessee the place that it ought to be. And so I've still got hope because I know we are still here and we will never quit.
Out of order. Out of order.
You know, there is nothing more frightening to the white establishment than a black man who is fighting for all the people. Now remember, this is about trying to protect children from the very real threat of gun violence. As opposed to the things that Tennessee Republicans right now are fighting against that are not threats. For example, critical race theory being taught in schools and drag queens. Transgender people in sports. That's what Tennessee Republicans, while they're deregulating guns, by the way, making it so that more people can have more guns and get them more easily. They're afraid of younger people that are actually challenging them on their views and their control of the state. Now, I want to show you one more video here. And this is the other member of the Tennessee Three, Gloria Johnson. Now, she was recently asked why she believed her colleagues were expelled while she was not. Here's her answer.
Why were those two expelled and you weren't?
Well, I think it's pretty clear. I'm a 60-year-old white woman, and they are two young black men. You know, one of the things with Brett Pearson, when he got sworn in, he wore a dashiki. And there's like, oh, you can't dress like that on the floor. Well, for him, that is a formal wear, and he had a suit over it. But they had such a problem with that. You know, this younger generation, they do things a little bit differently, but they're passionate and they're smart and they're advocates for their community and they're going to fight for their community. And I think some of our members just are a little older and it's something new they're not used to, but they're going to have to get used to it because these two young men are so powerful.
Now, I think she was a little too nice to her Republican colleagues, but her point is, yeah, they're strong, they're powerful, they're voices, and now they've just been elevated. Look, the fact that they are those things is why Republicans don't want them in that office, do not want them to serve. Look, a lot of these old congressional bodies they're the old good old boys club, especially in Tennessee. Is it any surprise that they want to keep it that way? That said, the fact that this now has national attention is why their efforts are ultimately going to backfire. Because now Now they have a much bigger platform. Now people are paying attention to what's going on in Tennessee. And I think it really is galvanizing the nation.